Thank you. Under normal circumstances, as a Chancellor, I confer in formal words the purpose of why we're here, and that is a conferring of degrees upon yourself. But this is my final year as Chancellor of Thompson Rivers University. So I presided over 3 graduating classes from TRU Law School. And I want to make a few comments about this school. I just want to say this is an excellent law school. I say that because of the faculty here. We have a number of young, creative, proactive, innovator thinkers. I've been to a number of law schools across the country. I've done some guest lecturing at them. I've done guest lecturing at the National Judicial Institute when I was on the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal. And I can tell you, in all earnestness, that these people here who have taught you for the last 3 years are excellent, and you are better for it. So, it is Canada's newest law school, and it's attracted faculty members who are passionate about teaching, who have expertise in a wide area of legal issues, including Indigenous rights, constitutional law, environmental law, natural resources law, mental health, law of privacy, Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and in particular, what we're doing here now that no other law school is doing, and that is teaching alternative dispute resolution. Many people are now looking outside the legal system for solutions to their legal problems. And the reason for that is access to justice is becoming elusive for members of the Canadian public. It's costly, it's cumbersome, it's difficult to get into court. So what this law school has done, TRU has done, they've led all other academic institutions to talk about mediation, arbitration, collaboration. Those are the areas in which the law is now moving. You know, the public doesn't want to hear a bunch of lawyers in a courtroom going on endlessly in cross-examination or lengthy submissions. You know, that's okay for television, but the public doesn't want to pay for that, and the public doesn't want to hear that. What the public really wants are solutions to the complex legal problems that they're encountering in 21st century Canada. And that's what this faculty and this law school stands for. We're moving forward in the area of the rule of law and in the area of dispute resolution. So you should know that. I want to say that the professors are thought leaders. They're engaged in cutting-edge legal research, and there's been a response here in the calls for action for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. You all know that the report came out approximately a year ago, chaired by the Honourable Mr. Justice, now Senator Murray Sinclair, and that was a great report. It told us of our relationship with Aboriginal people. And this law school has gone a long way into teaching Indigenous rights and where we are in that area. I've been involved in this area because I chaired the Commission of Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Women. And lately I've been working with the federal government as to how to implement our recommendations. And what this law school is doing as well in teaching Indigenous rights and those areas of the law that have long been neglected. The historical mistreatment of Aboriginal people in Canadian history is well known. And so that's another area of the curriculum at TRU that you have benefited from. So you should know that. The professors who are engaged in this research, in many ways in which TRU law students have the opportunity to benefit from the unique hands-on experimental learning. I want to, at this time, acknowledge what my former colleague, Mr. Justice Richard Blair, has done by being the judge in residence, or the retired judge in residence. So I know he doesn't like to hear that retired in front of his name, but he is retired and he's drawing a pension, so he must be retired. But we're thankful for what he has done here. I also want to talk a bit about the TRU clinic, the Community Legal Clinic that was opened on April the 1st of this year under the guidance of Professor Ruby Dance. And what that clinic does is offers free legal services to those people in our community who are unable to access the courts through legal help. So those are areas that you should know that this law school has been proactive in. The clinic allows the TRU Law to address the specific challenges of access to justice for many people in this community. As well, innovation is a buzzword in our community and the legal system. And TRU Law these days has offered a unique course called Lawyering in the 21st Century, and that was offered for the first time by Professor Katie Sykes. So these are areas that we've been creative in TRU. So many of those initiatives have been well known across the country, and I want to thank what the law faculty here have done when it comes to moving in these progressive and proactive areas. And that's done, of course, with the leadership of the Dean, Bradford Morris, who came here approximately a year ago. And so the law school has done well. It will continue to do well by virtue of the faculty that we have and the dean that's leading that faculty. Justice is an important concept, and it's a pillar of our democratic society. And as such, the law itself provides a framework to operate and to operate under the rule of law. What separates us in a civil society in 21st century Canada is that we have the rule of law, where people are equal before the courts. If we compare our system to the system of other nations, the Americans, for instance, 2 years ago, the Americans freed approximately 2,500 people who were in their jails because they're wrongfully convicted. Now, that's something to think about. Our system is slow in many ways. We don't get things done in a timely way, but the fact is, it's a very fair system. We give everybody an opportunity to be heard. That's the hallmark of a social, civil democracy. And that's something that the rule of law, as we know it, leads us to do in a constitutional democracy. So academia plays a very vital role in developing the minds of those people who, like yourselves, who are going out and being members of the public, whether you're practicing law or doing other things. There's one other thing I want to say, and that is that people ask you, people always ask me, what's a good law school? And I always say that law schools are what you make of them. It's what the knowledge that you've accumulated here, and to what use do you make that knowledge? And I was on the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal for over 20 years, and I didn't know where the lawyers were educated. I didn't know whether a lawyer went to Harvard or whether they went to the University of Saskatchewan. That's because you don't really know. What you can judge is the quality of the advocacy, the quality of the legal work that you get when the lawyers appear before you. And I can tell you, by virtue of what you've learned here, you'll be in a very good position to carry on with your legal careers. So, in closing, I want to say that it's been an honor for me to be a chancellor of Thompson Rivers University, and particularly to take part in the law school, and particularly to work with the president of the university, Dr. Alan Shaver. So in closing, I have to say that by the powers vested in me as Chancellor of Thompson Rivers University, I confer the Juris Doctor degrees with all the consequent privileges and responsibilities upon the graduates present today, and in absentia to those graduates who are unable to attend today. Thank you.